better is the most manipulative phrase that women have heard over the internet. But I am going to explain from a sociological perspective why it is fundamentally wrong and fundamentally flawed. And I am going to use information that men themselves have provided us in a public forum. That said, many will come onto my page gaslighting, saying, where's your proof? Where's your data? The branch of science that we are using to prove my claim is sociology. Sociology is the study of social life, social change, and the social causes and consequences of human behavior. Okay? So when we talk about this term, pick better, let's framework it from the perspective of the way that males see and use this word. Obviously, we know that it's a gaslight, but we're going to look at it from their perspective. They tell us to pick better because this essentially means that women need to use discernment to know if they are dealing with terrible, awful men. They also need to discard those men if at some point they were deceived, okay? And once they find out they were deceived, they need to leave those men immediately. If they do not leave those men, they are accountable and or to receive punishment or consequences for sticking around with those men. Take a page out of the book of Kevin Samuels, and I quote, "Men don't give a fuck about fairness. Men only care about conquest." Kevin Samuels did not say that this was some men. He was very clear that this was all men. Of course, I know he does not speak for all men, but when you see the amassed amount of male supporters who validated his message, you must understand that this is very telling. So men don't give a fuck about fairness. They don't care what's right. They don't care how it affects the woman. Their main objective is to conquer.
Do you feel that men are targeting you on purpose so that they can emotionally manipulate?
Hear me clear. Boys, grown-ass boys, will go after the baddest big boss women because they are getting back at the mothers that they hate.
Because a lot of black women, and I'm speaking African American, feel forced to date Hispanic men or even white men because black men treat them so poorly.
I was literally about to say.
Let's talk about the stereotypes, right?
Okay,
As a Latina,
okay.
I get aggressive with you. I start cursing you out in Spanish. So I'm yelling. I'm making a show. Oh, that's sexy. Let a black woman do it. Crazy because I could look the same as her. She could have my complexion, all of that. But just because I speak Spanish, it's sexy.
To be whoever they need to be to get a certain woman that they're trying to get.
Especially black men. Yeah.
Exactly. Y'all are so good with doing it, making that woman get exactly where you want her. Mm-hmm. And that's the problem. It's not the problem that you want to talk to multiple women. It's not the problem that, you know what I'm saying, you don't want to be in a committed relationship. It's not a problem that you only want to have sex. Mm-hmm. It's the problem that we're not given a choice to decide if we want to partake in what you want to.
Don't give a fuck about fairness. They care about conquest. And I speak on the majority. I am sure that there are some progressive men. This means that the conquests matter more than the person itself. So this is why we see things like reproductive abuse, financial abuse, abuse after they've gotten married, because the conquest can extend past physical intimacy. There is once again a fundamental flaw in the way the average man views interpersonal relationships between black men and women. Misogynoir is no respecter of persons. As this lovely Latina woman said, other women of other groups, including her own, get more grace, more credence, and more understanding than the black woman. You see? And I have even heard palm-colored women come out and say the same exact thing. Because it's obvious, it's noticeable. But what does this mean? This means that, as you see it in my other video, it is all about proximity to whiteness. Whether they recognize it or not, others do, and we're going to speak on it. Proximity to whiteness. Whiteness is the goal because whiteness is the one with the power in their hands. A majority of them are operating from a mindset of getting a more civilized woman based on the character standards of whiteness. How can you pick better when he already has dehumanized you and sees you as the bottom of the barrel? He thinks he's doing you a favor. And it's not because of how you behave. It's because of their programming in Western society. The black man has a bigger problem than the black woman. His problem is his lack of self-love. Don't let that go over your head.